talk to us about your follow-up. That can be, daunting when you've got a lot in the hopper. What is your follow-up plan?
Well, I think the first thing that's really important, there's, and you can Google this to get the actual stats, like the sales statistics of follow-up, that only 1% of sales or transactions happen in the first follow-up. So if you are only calling one time, you're only capturing 1% of the market, which most of the time, that person is just not ready at that moment. So that's really important. The follow-up is, I don't know if I'd call it aggressive, but it's staying in front of them as much as possible and being able to recognize when they really are ready, and asking more questions. So we've got to ask as many questions as possible to get to their actual motivation, because a lot of times, and I think about when I go to buy a car or I'm shopping at the store and the salesperson comes up to me and says, furniture is the best, right? Because they're standing at the front and everyone's harassing you. Do you need help? Do you have any questions? What are you looking for? I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm not ready. But guess what? At some point, I'm going to find that couch that I love and I'm going to meet a salesperson, right? And now I'm like looking at in the store, like, why isn't anyone here to help me? I need help.
Right.
And that's the same thing with terminated. They're going to need someone at some point, and the person who's hovering around, right, who's been calling and consistently following up, is the one that's going to get them on the right day when they said, oh, actually, I was thinking about calling an agent again because I do need to sell. So you've got to follow up forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
A newer agent thinks that they get one no. Well, no, we're not. We're just going to leave it off for a while. Okay, bye-bye. And they never call back.
Yeah.
Or they might call back 4 months later, but, oh, yeah, we sold that. Okay.
Yeah. What would be the cadence of your follow-up? If my house terminates, when am I going to hear from you? How frequently am I going to hear from you? What are you saying to me?
Well, you've got to be really organized on your leads, because you've got to make sure you're calling them at the right time. If they say that they're going to sell in a month, you always want to cut the time in half, because things end up happening and people change their mind, especially in our market. Typically, these are second homes, investment properties for people. So, they could get a call from their accountant or their financial advisor, and they're making a different move than what they said. So our follow-up always has to be more aggressive than maybe what that expired was originally thinking. But what I found is that they like when we're aggressive. I've been hired so many times by sellers that said, you know what? I just love how aggressive you are. And my last agent was so passive. I need a bulldog to get my home sold. So I teach the same thing to my agents is, we have to be aggressive. We've got to get out of our comfort zone because people want that. I always tell this to my team, which is, do you want to hire a passive attorney or an aggressive attorney to work on your behalf? Right? We're all going to say we want somebody who's aggressive, and a seller wants the same exact thing.
Right. So when they start giving you pushback, you make that observation, right?
Right.
Right. Do you want someone like me to represent you?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you can say, hey, the reason I'm so aggressive is because I'm really passionate about selling homes and I want to get yours sold too. Because look at the last agent you hired, right? You were on the market for 200 days and it wasn't successful. Don't you want it different this time around? And something else I would say is, hey, I don't want to have this same conversation with you 6 months down the line. Right. We've already been through this once. I've called you once. I don't want to have this conversation again.
Yeah.
So let's do the right thing and let's get together for a couple of minutes.
Do the right thing. I love it. Let's do the right thing. And that's an interesting, you are well scripted. That little piece about doing the right thing is a part of human nature.
Yeah.
And I've heard another variation of, let's list it right and sell it right. When they start talking about flaky things like, I might try it on my own or this, that, and the other. So that you are well scripted.
It just comes from the experience, right?
Let's just do the
Of
right
doing it every
thing. Let's
day.
just do the right thing because most people want to do the right thing. So
Mhm.
I love that.